problem with the opposition side for debate. They have failed to debate within the spirit of the motion, Mr. Speaker. Now, I'll further elaborate this when I rebut both of the speakers. Now, moving on to the second speaker's rebuttal, Mr. Speaker. Now, she tried to tell the House how is it by actually enforcing this motion in the first place itself, it is going against the concept of government. Whereby government is, they run government, Mr. Speaker, and you should not interfere with family business, Mr. Speaker, and that's the case. Well, here's the problem. We are not interfering with family business, Mr. Speaker. In fact, as may knows, Mr. Speaker, it is for the betterment of the family itself. Why? Because it is going to actually enhance the family institution. Why? Because you are actually making the other side happy. You are actually trying to make the other side appreciated, Mr. Speaker. And imagine if you are the one working at home, looking after the children, and you have to run there because you have to clean the washes, wash the dish and everything, Mr. Speaker, and you don't get even a cent out of it, Mr. Speaker, because I'm sure the government is not going to pay you if you are a working spouse. Am I right? So, Mr. Speaker, that is why we want to enforce this motion, because we don't think it is fair for you to work at home without getting a cent of it, Mr. Speaker. So this motion is to ensure you to get your daily wage, Mr. Speaker. Now the problem here, which is they question on this side of the House. I'm going to tackle one of the most key issues that they planted onto this debate. The issue here is that right now, some couples, they have been actually living for quite some time and they have been giving each other some money. So what is the necessity for this motion to be enforced? Well, this necessity comes in our second point, whereby it further consolidates the family institution through making the other side happy, Mr. Speaker. Imagine if you're an usher or a judge, Mr. Speaker, at a debate tournament and not getting even a cent out of it, Mr. Speaker. Let's imagine if you're the one who is on that side, Mr. Speaker. Through this motion, through our mechanism, through our implementation, Mr. Speaker, we are making sure that you feel happy. Let's face it, Mr. Speaker, let's not be hypocrites. I'll take that in a minute. When you receive something, when you receive a form of reward, Mr. Speaker, you feel happy. Let's not deny the fact, even if it's a form of sweets or whatsoever, Mr. Speaker. But in this case, we put it a fixed wage, Mr. Speaker, of which it has been already explained by my first speaker, because we know sometimes you have to go to this, you're working, you stay at home, and at the same time you still have the ones, sometimes you want to go to shopping and everything, Mr. Speaker. We don't believe the idea of, working your bum out and then suddenly you don't get a cent of it. We don't think the idea is acceptable. Please explain.
Sorry, do you think that the giving partner would be happy in that case by making the receiving partner happy?
No, this is a problem because it goes along with the spirit of marriage. The spirit of marriage in the first place itself. They have been agreeing, Mr. Speaker, with the spirit of the marriage. What is yours is mine, what is mine is yours. It is together, we are sharing it together, Mr. Speaker. Right? When you want to marry someone, obviously you have to realize the fact that you are going to share bedroom together, you're going to share bathroom together, and whatever you want to share, you are going to share. By the end of the day, you are going to share everything, the speaker. So the same goes with wages, the speaker. Moreover, what makes this thing so intriguing is the fact that you work yourself off. You are working 24/7 at home, looking after children, nanny here and there, mommy every day, every month, Mr. Speaker, every minute, and then you don't get the cent of it, Mr. Speaker. We believe it is a husband's obligation to actually provide the wife with everything, the speaker. Now, they also talk about how they can report to someone or whatsoever, the speaker, but reporting it to associations does not necessarily solve the problem. Why? Because you are only trying to curing the fight that already has been there, Mr. Speaker. Comparatively to our motion, we haven't prevented it from occurring in the first place itself, Mr. Speaker. Now, I want to rebut the fact that you should allow family to run its best, Mr. Speaker. But since my first speaker has underlined the key issue here, I'll take that in a minute, Mr. Speaker. I'll take that in a minute. The key issue here, which is that today's family are not that consolidated because you have divorces and everything. I think that is already feasible and plausible, Mr. Speaker. Now let's compare the government's rule here with traffic lights, Mr. Speaker. Imagine you're at a road and then suddenly you stumble upon traffic light. And then, Mr. Speaker, why should the government stop you from moving? It's not that we want to stop you. It's that we're helping you to get to something else, Mr. Speaker. We are helping you to get to another place. Better, the same goes with family institutions. It's not that we're forcing you. It's just that we're helping you. It's just that you are the ones who are failing to see how are we going to benefit you. Yes.
How are you so sure? Do you have proof that this fixed wage would cause a fight in the first place?
Now here's the problem. Imagine if you are the one who is not working, Mr. Speaker, and then you demand some money. Because let's admit it, Mr. Speaker, some human, they have this materialism inside themselves, Mr. Speaker, or whatsoever, because it's a human nature. Unless they can prove to the house, this housewives or house husbands do have a fixed wage, Mr. Speaker, or do have an income, Mr. Speaker, then I believe only then they should continue with the Speaker. But since these housewives and the house husbands do not have an income, do not have a source of income, Mr. Speaker, so this is the one. Through our mechanism, we are providing them an alternative. We are giving them the solution to the problem, Mr. Speaker. Now, secondly, Mr. Speaker, they are talking about the feasibility of it. They are talking about the rule of it, Mr. Speaker. Well, here's the thing. Rules are not written in stone, Mr. Speaker. They are flexible. If it is not enough, then for sure, Mr. Speaker, just ask from your husband. Now, they question, okay, what happens when the husbands do not give? Well, here's the problem. Because the husbands do not give, this is why we want to enforce this motion. The husbands do not give when these wives ask. What makes you think, if there is no mechanism like what we propose, the husband would give willingly, Mr. Speaker. So when he brought up the question of when the husbands do not give, Mr. Speaker, well, I believe our solution, our proposal, it at least solves the problem, because half a loaf is always better than none, Mr. Speaker. Now, they also talk about how it is unnecessary because right now the large majority of it is that spouses are working or whatsoever, Mr. Speaker. Well, the problem here is that we are trying to solve the problem, and we believe our mechanism solves the problem because we believe family institutions should be put at. It's very significant, Mr. Speaker, because with family institutions, Mr. Speaker, it can break the country down, it can actually tear the country down or whatsoever, Mr. Speaker. When you're talking about spouses, when you're talking about housewives and house husbands, you have to understand they do not have any source of income, Mr. Speaker. Is that right? Okay, thinking as a human being, is that something right for another human being to be slaved around, cleaning here and there, and then watching after the kids, and then not getting a cent of it, Mr. Speaker? That is the principal aspect of this debate. Throughout the whole two speakers, they have not been debating on the principal axis of this debate, Mr. Speaker. What they prefer was to attack the minor feasibility points. They prefer to attack the minor mechanisms, Mr. Speaker. Well, I believe that if you can actually bust drug crimes, Mr. Speaker, if you can bust loans, Mr. Speaker, why can't you just help family institutions? With that, Mr. Speaker, we believe this House should actually accept this motion because we believe family institutions are very significant. And with that, thank you.